So now we will move to our last part in this unit, which is string builder and character class. I will not cover the string builder, but I will at least cover the strings and character classes. And this is just to give you some examples about what you can do. So basically, in this part, we will go over a long list of functions for string and character classes. But I need to say this. Do you have to memorize these function names and how they are used? Short answer, in my opinion, no. And during the exams, I will actually give you a cheat sheet, like with the function names, how it is used, and what it does. Okay. So what I'm trying to, I want you to do is actually, are you to use those functions for a given problem, instead of trying to memorize, okay, how many functions parameter it takes, and so on and so. So the main, because like it's first too many. Second, it's a very easy knowledge that you can get. You can just Google it and check it all the time when you are writing a code. But the main skill is, again, are you able to use these functions when needed? So this is what I'm looking for. But also, having said that, like I said, that you don't need to memorize it, but at least being aware of about your capabilities is also important. Like, you have a string class, okay, then what can you do? Can I compare two regions of a strings? Like, if you know that, yes, I can, then you don't need to know exactly memorize the function name and its parameters, but you can always Google it. But if you know that, okay, there should be a function, like I should be able to do this, I just don't remember its name, that's a very good thing that I'm looking for actually. Then, because you can always Google it and find the actual name of it. So, so basically a string, literal, which is actually a sequence of characters, and we put, which are in double quotations. Again, Java comes with a long list of functions to support this class. So it has multiple constructors that no argument, which means that it's an empty string, or that takes a string object, that takes a char array, that takes a char array and two integers to specify that the portion of that array will be string. So there are multiple ways to create a string. And when I say that, yeah, you don't need to memorize it, yeah, this is what I meant. Like, if your question requires to say that, okay, you need a string that will take a char array and a number, then yeah, I will give that, give the definition of it at least. And here you can see some examples of it. I will go a little bit quick to catch up with the schedule. And also, again, I think, yeah, it's just some functions that we can see. So you can create an empty string, a string that has the value of another string. You can, if you give a char array, as in here, then you can convert it to a string, or you can take this char array, and then you can say, okay, what portion of it? So starting index 6, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So starting from this D, take 3 letters, DA. So this is, again, there are multiple ways to create a string. And strings are immutable. What does it mean?
You can change any letter.
Yeah, we cannot change its value. So that's an interesting claim, because if I open this, and in my test class, if I say this, string s is equal to a, then s is equal to b. Well, I did. So how is that possible? Like, it was saying that it is immutable, you cannot change the value, but I did. Do you have an idea about it?
Yes, because you allocate a new memory location, then
Yes.
refer to.
Yes, exactly. So when I do it, actually, what is happening here is, it first creates a location, allocates a location from the memory for the value of A, but then when I change it to B, it creates another location. So it doesn't go and change the value of A, make it B. it creates another value location, allocate another location, make put there b, and then reassigns this variable to that new location. So it's immutable, but from a developer perspective at this level, we do not understand it. But this also implies something for us, which is like what happens if I have a string and then I keep changing its value? What might it cause? What might happen?
Cause memory leak.
Yes, I will be filling my memory actually. Like if you do keep changing the the value of a string, then you might run into some memory issues. All right, and similar to what you have in Python, it starts from the index starts from the 0, and if you try, but different than the Python, if you try to access the index -1, you won't get the last character. You will get an index out of bound exception. So the index should be always between 0 and the number of letters that you have -1. And how can I know that how many letters I have? Well, you can use this length which returns the number of letters. How can I get a specific character in a string? I cannot use this square brackets as in Python, but I need to use this char at function. Like if I say char at then 5, then it will give me the character that has the index 5. And again, there are some other functions like getChars, which copies the characters of a string into character array. This one, again, takes a bunch of numbers if you want to go through that, but basically I will just go very briefly. The first argument is the starting index. The second one is the index that one past the last character to be copied from string. So first and last. And the third one is the character array in which the characters are to be copied. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to copy a string, but a portion of that string to another string. So this is what I'm trying to do. So I'm defining what is that portion with these two arguments. What is the third argument, the character array that I want to copy that information. And then the last argument is the starting index, where these place in that array. So I have a string, I have a character array. I define which portion of that string should be copied, which array should be, and the last one is from that copy, where should I start the copying? Like maybe it is an array of 100 characters, but I just need to copy 5 of them. Then should I put it in the beginning or at the end? And when I say like you don't need to memorize this is what I meant. Like you don't need to memorize getChars. Okay, what is the first character? What is the second? What is the third? What is the fourth? But at least be aware that, okay, you can copy a portion of a string to a char array. That's the information that you need, okay? Then you can always check how it is used. And here is an example. Again, how do we use this length? Again, in Python, we use len function. That we don't have it here, but we use this length function. So if we have this class s1.length gives us the number of letters. s1.char@, and then this count function will give us the specific letter. So what are we trying to do with this for loop? Can you explain me what are we doing here with this for loop? This one. Can someone translate this code to English for me?
It will get the corresponding letter in the ASCII code table.
ASCII, oh. It returns, well, we didn't get into this ASCII, but it will print just the character. Okay, so yeah, we didn't get into this part yet. So it will print the character. But what are we doing, for instance, here?
We just display a word, a string, but in reverse.
Yes. So we start from the last because we get the number of letters, -1. So we start from the last index. And then we go until when there's 0, and at each iteration we decrement it by 1. and then we print it accordingly. So we basically, if we have a string, we'll print it in a reverse order. And this is again a usage of how to copy characters from string into a char array. Starting index, end index, which char array it is, and where to put it in that array. All right, and when we are comparing strings, well, there are multiple ways. I had already explained this equal sign and said that you should not do it for the string. So what you can do is, well, you can use first this equals method that we have already seen. Equals ignore case is also, you might need it, because equals function looks for exact match, like capital A and lowercase a, they are different if you use equals. But if you want to say, okay, they should be also considered the same, then you should use this equals ignore case function. And again, this compare to function, this is also what I meant, like there's a comparable interface that is implemented in the string class. Basically, if they are same, it returns 0. Otherwise, either a positive number, a negative number based on the comparison value. Well, why is this important? Well, some functions are used them to sort, for instance, strings. So that you either want to make it in an ascending order or a descending order. It depends. So you can use this compare to function for these cases. And the other one is region matches. So again, this is an overloaded method. What does it mean when I say overloaded method? This is an overloaded method.
Just overload.
What does it mean, overload?
We can do it.
What is it?
Can do it by other methods with this. Make it simple.
No.
You can use it many times and it stay.
You can use many times and
You can execute it in another form.
not exactly. I don't know what you meant by the another form, but it might be a hint for the answer. So overloaded means we have multiple versions of that function with the same name but with different parameters. And so for the functions that you have multiple versions of it in which you use a different set of parameters, it is called an overloaded function. So we overload that name, we overload that function name, we provide multiple versions of it. So it has again this with the fourth parameter version and the fifth parameter version. Again, this is, I will not go read these arguments, like I'm not forcing you to memorize and so on, but the main idea is that if you have two strings and you want to compare them, but only a region of it, like maybe the first 5 letters of this and the last 5 letters of this, are they same or not? So this might be, this is the main idea of region matches. So is there a region that is of that string which is equal to another region in that string? So this is what this function does. These are just some examples that I already provided this double equal sign issue, so I'm just moving on. All right, yeah, this is also the region matches part, so I will also move on. The other one is starts with, ends with. These are very popular functions. I think it's very handy, very used cases. Starts with basically does this string start with this kind of a given substring. Like if we have this A, B, C, D, E, then I just want to say, okay, if S starts with did I do a mistake there? No. Anyway, sometimes it does that, yes. If it starts with ABC, I mean, you might want to say something, whatever it is, else not. doesn't start, or maybe you will say no and you will say yes, whatever it is. But this is basically you want to check if a particular string starts with a given another string. Like if you make it ADC, then we should get the no result here. So this is very useful. Why? Well, in many cases, because let's say that I provide you course codes, okay, of different and I'm asking you, okay, are these courses, are they I don't know, computer science courses? How would you know it if I give you a course? If it starts with CMPS, it's a computer science course, for instance. So we use it in many these kind of scenarios here. And ends with also, like if I give you a website, then is it an education website or a government website? How can I know it? If the URL ends with .gov, ends with .edu, then it's a government or an education website. So it's commonly used for many operations. Index of last, index of also, you give it a character or a substring and you check, okay, is it here? If it is, what is its first index? So I have this again, A, B, C, D, then I would like to print, let me just print it, s dot index of, index of, I guess this is weird, yeah. Like where is CD, for instance, okay? So what it will return is, it returns 2, why is that? So it returns the first appearance of it, index of it, so 0, 1, 2, so it starts in the index 2. If I had even more CDs, it would still give me 2 because it returns me the first index of it. But if you want to say last index, which you just need to say last index of, then it returns the index of the last appearance in that string. So this is, and what if it doesn't exist? Let's say if it is XYZ, so it doesn't exist, then it returns -1, so that you understand, okay, this substring doesn't exist in this string. This is also a very common function that we use frequently, so it's also important to be aware of that it exists. These are also the examples that we already talked about it. I gave examples for this index and index of, so I'm just moving on. The other one is a substring, so which is you want to just get a substring of a text. So I have this A, B, C, D, this one, and then I want to just get a substring of it, okay? And then for that one, if you say, this also have overloaded methods. Like if you say I want to get, if you put only one letter, it means that, I want to get all the parts after index 2. So I put 2 there. So it gives me CDE, which is again 0, 1, 2. So it starts from 2 up to there. But if you want to say, okay, I want to get all the data from 2 to 4, then so you define a region, and then it gives you that letter, but 4 is not included. So again, this is also a very common method that we use, because you just get a substring. This is, again, maybe you have given a course code like CMPS 251 object-oriented programming course code. Then you are asked, okay, what is the class name? Okay, then I should just get rid of this CMPS 251. I should just get this object-oriented programming. So I can use the substring, and then you just count CMPS 2517, and then maybe a space 8. So give me every letters starting from the 8 characters. So this is another use case scenario for the substring.
Is the negative values valid?
Oh, that's a very good question. To be honest, I never tried it. Normally we shouldn't, but yeah, maybe at some point we make a mistake. So what happens if we give some negative numbers? Yeah, we get an error. Okay. All right, it's 5:50, so I would like to stop here.